A very warm welcome to all our guests and members to the 37th meeting of WordWise Advanced Toastmasters Club. It is my great privilege to welcome you all to another episode of this club. And before we start our meeting and I hand over the gavel to our esteemed President, Toastmaster Cyril Paul, I would like to notify you of some rules and regulations. It would be appreciated if you can keep your camera on while the meeting is progressing so that the speakers are able to comfortably know who they are talking to and we can have an interactive session. Please keep your mics closed and muted if you are not speaking. Also, we do not discuss sensitive topics such as politics, religion, and sex in this meeting, except if we are to reference it from a very positive point of view, in the sense that we are referencing it from the point of view of literature. And with these few regulations, I would like to now call upon our President, Toastmaster Cyril Paul, a Toastmaster for the last 5 years, double district champion from District 98 in the International Speech Contest, as well as the Humorous Speech Contest, a word master, a pun master, and all-round fun person to work with and work for. Over to you, President Toastmaster Cyril Paul.
Thank you so much. Word master, pun master. I thought you'd say fun master as well. But yep, thanks a lot. Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Meher, and a warm welcome to all of you to the 37th meeting of WordWise Advanced Toastmasters Club. For those of you who do not know about this club, we are a literature-themed club, and we are crazy about literature, not just English literature, literature in every single language on earth. We've had keynote speakers talking about various pieces of literature, masterpieces, timeless masterpieces, and unknown authors as well being discussed. We also have several poets, writers, thinkers, philosophers sitting right here, and you'll notice them speaking today, and you will know who they are when they come up to speak. Unknown faces, and warm welcome to all those known returning faces. I see a name, Latif. Toastmaster Latif, could you unmute, introduce yourself, and tell us what brings you to WordWise? Everyone gets a mandatory 4 seconds to try that. Let me jump over to another familiar face. That would be Toastmaster Rajiv Srinivas from the south of India, if I'm guessing it right. Is that the same Rajiv, or is it someone else? Toastmaster Rajiv.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Can hear you loud and clear, and this does sound like DTM, Rajiv. Right.
It's your same friend Rajiv Srinivas. Thank you, sir, my dear champion, for inviting me. I'm really glad to be here after a long time to meet all of champions, Cyril, Avinash, and many. So glad to be part of this session, and hopefully we'll have a fruitful session.
A pleasant surprise and lovely to see you. Thank you so very much for coming to for this meeting. Toastmaster Kuber C. Would it be possible for you to unmute? And okay, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes.
Yeah, so this is Toastmaster Kuber. I am from Leader Speak Toastmaster Club. This is in JP Nagar, Bangalore.
Oh, lovely. All right.
I'm also VP membership of my club. So
lovely.
I saw your theme of today and I got very interested. So I joined. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so very much for coming. I'm speaking from Bangalore as we speak now. I'm a Mumbaiite, but right now I'm in Bangalore. Thank you so much for coming again and hope you have fun. Let me catch hold of two last people. That would be Toastmaster Atif. Toastmaster Atif, very quickly before the VP Education throws a clock at my head.
Hi, my name is Atif. Can I be heard loud and clear?
Loud and clear, yes.
Yeah, I am right now in Karachi. I am from Pakistan and looking forward to hear gems from everyone at this platform.
Lovely. Thank you so very much. Toastmaster Dania is doing the role of Toastmaster of the Day for the first ever time in her entire life. No pressure on you, Toastmaster Dania. Toastmaster Hemanta.
Hi, this is Hemant. I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm from AA
Right.
Toastmasters Club.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. In the interest of time, warm welcome to all of you. I look forward to catching up with all of you at the end of this meeting once again. And on that note, let me welcome the Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day is Toastmaster Dania Iqbal. She's been a Toastmaster for two months, I believe, and she's been surprising us with her erudition. She's a budding poetess, and it's unfortunate that we won't be sharing her poetry in the extempore writing segment. But we're going to hear a lot about her and a lot from her. Over to you, Toastmaster Dania.
Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I am TM Danya, as TM Cyril has already told you all about me, although he has missed out the part about cats. I mean, I'm a cat lover, but this meeting is not about me and cats, so I'll just move on. It is with great excitement that I welcome you all to today's meeting. As your Toastmaster of the day, let me introduce the title of today's meeting, which is Earthly Eloquence, a celebration of literature and the natural world. Now, from the timeless verses of Shakespeare to the modern musings of contemporary poets, poetry has always held a special place in our hearts. It has the power to evoke deep emotions, paint vivid images with words, and transport us to different worlds. Prose, on the other hand, allows us to dive into rich narratives, explore complex characters, and immerse ourselves in the art of storytelling. So essentially, our theme today celebrates the beauty and diversity of both these literary forms, prose and poetry, with a special focus on their connection to nature itself. So throughout history, we know that poets and writers have turned to nature for inspiration, either if it's the rustling of the leaves, the serene flow of rivers, or the grandeur of the mountains. Many of such poets and writers were lovers of the natural world. What about you all? Do you have any poet, favorite poet or author who held an eye for nature? Anyone?
Wordsworth.
Okay, yeah, Wordsworth. Same for me too. So for me, it's Wordsworth as well. I'll read a few lines from his poem. Here it goes. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on higher vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Now, I'm pretty sure the daffodils outside of my house are cursing this extremely warm and evil weather that we have. I'm wondering if this heat wave will ever end. It's a mystery I cannot solve, truly. Talking about heat waves, fun fact, or rather a horrifying fact, global temperature will rise about by 2.5 to 4.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. So it's pretty scary. I did not mean to get dark here, but we have to take, care of nature. It's our muse, isn't it? Anyhow, more on that later. Let's introduce the meeting segments now. So every WordWise meeting proceeds like the chapters of a book, and every book begins with its prelude or preface. That is the WordWise Odyssey, which is a keynote or educational session delivered by renowned leaders, speakers, and writers on any aspect of language, literature, public speaking, and leadership. This is followed by the episodes or prepared speeches from Toastmasters Pathways. The interpretive reading segment comes next, in which members and guests share a selection of poetry or prose from any language, along with an English summary and their personal reflections on the piece, which may be original or taken from a favorite author. Next is our most exciting segment of the day, the extempore writing segment, in which participants offer a 3 to 5 minute speech on the topic of the day presented by the extempore writing curator. And we will finally conclude the story with the last and the grandest session of the day, the general evaluation, in which all the loose ends will be tied up and the secrets of the plot twists will be revealed and resolved. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite my team of role players. First, I would like to invite TM Noor Malik, our language evaluator for the day, to present the word of the day. But before that, just a mini introduction. He is a software engineer and joined Toastmasters in 2021. His favorite fruit is watermelon, and his favorite flower is the rose. So now I hand the charge to TM Noor.
Thank you. I usually don't get introduced by my favorite fruit and flowers, so I think this is always the first time for it. So, hello, welcome everyone. I will be your language evaluator, and I usually don't get very strict, but let's see. The phrase of the day, rather, is ab antico. This is a Latin phrase which means since antiquity. One example usage can be, like the Toastmaster of the day said, ab antico, poets have used nature for inspiration, right? And yeah, I believe that is enough introduction to the language evaluation. Looking forward to good usage and mistakes to point out. And if you fly under the radar successfully, then congratulations. And back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Daniel.
Thank you, TM Noor. That is certainly a pretty hard word that I will not be able to use, but I'll try. Next, I would like to invite TM Meher Tanvir, our extempore writing curator, to present the topic of the day. Everyone knows TM Meher. Fun fact, her favorite fruit is the mango, while her favorite flowers are roses and lilies. Beautiful choice. I invite TM Meher to present her extempore topics, please.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Danya, and thank you for presenting such a beautiful topic for us to write on and think about today. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Can anyone tell me who this quote is ascribed to? Does anyone have any idea? I'll mention this in the chat.
Action replay, please.
Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. So this quote is ascribed to none other than Mark Twain. But here's the twist. Get this. There's no substantial evidence to prove that it was in fact quoted by the great man and the great wit. However, this metaphor has been in use in poetry, the metaphor of using flowers of various fragrances to refer to this quality and trait of forgiveness, ab antiquo. In fact, it has been mentioned in several poems, in several languages, from several cultures. For example, in 1845, a poem titled "Father, Forgive Them" used the symbol of a floweret which had been crushed beneath a foot to represent forgiveness. The overall context of the work was Christian. Father, forgive them, as a floweret fair, when crushed beneath some rude and careless tread, breathes forth its fragrance on the balmy air, regaling him who hath its beauties shed. And in 1848, the verse was attributed to the Persian poet Saadi. And the translation of this was given by Sir William Jones, who writes, "The sandal tree perfumes when riven, the axe that laid it low. Let man who hopes to be forgiven, forgive and bless his foe." So whether they are hyacinths, sandals, violets, tulips, or roses, this symbolism is a well-trodden, flower-filled path. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. This is the topic of the day. And I would like to invite our esteemed participants to shed their light on the topic and to share their experiences, which might show how they have connected to nature or how they have learned from the gentle lessons that nature has to give us. Anyone who would like to participate in the extempore writing segment? Toastmaster Cyril.
No, I'm just going to make an announcement that we'll keep it to 3 people today.
All
Because
right.
we have
Sure.
we have Toastmaster Fatima.
Wonderful. Toastmaster Fatima, always up for the challenge. Just to repeat what Toastmaster Danya had explained about the segment, that this is an extempore writing segment in which I have given you the topic. And so participants will be able to write on this topic for the rest of the meeting. The very last segment of the meeting before general evaluation will be the one in which participants will present their writings of 3 to 5 minutes. And this is how we throw you into the deep end in WordWise. This is a segment which is unique to WordWise in the Toastmasters universe. Toastmaster Noor, wonderful, wonderful to see you participate. All right, do I see any other takers? All right. All right, Gulizera, wonderful, Toastmaster Gulizera. And that completes our roster for the day. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Danya.
Thank you, Meher. That was a wonderful topic you chose. So a small quote by Ruth Gordon to move the meeting on. The very best impromptu speeches are the ones written well in advance, and I cannot agree more to that. With this, I will go on to introduce today's keynote speaker. A Toastmaster for the past 8 years, DTM Avinash Singh is a 3-time district champion from District 98, having won the coveted trophy in the Humorous Speech Contest 2020, Table Topics Contest 2022, and the Evaluation Speech Contest 2024, and was also the first runner-up in the International Speech Contest 2023, named the Toastmaster of the Year 2023.
Technical glitch. I'll take over. It takes a lot of effort to introduce Toastmaster Avinash because the man's got a record that kind of completely, it's longer than my height and I'm 6 feet 1 inch tall. But I'm privileged to call DTM Avinash my first mentor when I was part of Toastmasters 5 years ago. And he was single-handedly responsible for ensuring that I won the humorous speech contest despite being just maybe 8 months in Toastmasters. And it was privileged to have him as a fellow contestant in ISC. And Toastmaster Avinash knows this. I sent a very nervous message to my family that if I'm losing to Avinash in this contest, it's a honorary loss because that man is simply outstanding. Let me not take away. I'd love to speak more about this gem of a person, but I'll be eating into the meeting time. Over to you, DTM Avinash. And as always, entertain, educate, and enlighten us with your educational session.
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me. I was like, oh, tears in my eye. What should I do? So much to, you have set the benchmark so high. Now I have to live up to all those expectations. And already you are speaking a different language. Okay. So, I was, dumbfounded when you're listening to all these poems. And I love poems, right? Going on, it's like watching a movie which is a musical. So this is something very different. I've never ever attended such a meeting. I'll just start the timer so that I'm on time. So impromptu speaking is something which we will talk about. Let me ask you now, you can just unmute and share. Let me ask you this. What is the biggest challenge you face in impromptu speaking or in table topics?
Organization of thoughts.
Organization of thoughts. Hi, Umar. Good to see you here.
Hi, Avinash.
Yeah. Any more? Any more?
We are out of mind.
Call to action.
Call to action. Okay.
I feel I don't have my mind in me.
Sorry?
I feel that I have no mind, no brain in my skull.
You don't have a mind or a brain. You're frozen in time. What exactly I have to say? Yes, Rihanna. Please share. I'm sorry. I'm using first names. It's if it's not okay, just tell me. Avinash. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Rihanna.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rihanna Siddiqui, and I'm from Ravi Toastmaster Lahore. And currently, I am working as a CEO. I'm a CEO and founder of my skincare brand in Lahore. So my question is about impromptu speaking. I think I have so many ideas about a specific topic, but when it's time to execute it, then I think my all words are dancing in front of me, but I don't allow me to come out from my mouth. So
Well,
what is the main issue of this?
that's a good picture to imagine. Words dancing in front of you. That was good. Nice. Thank you. Yes, Somaya.
Yes, it's
If I-
Sumaya.
Yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. So my thing is that if a topic is given, you have so many things to say, and you speak so quickly, and you run out of, you finish it before the time. I think that is
Oh,
what happens.
yes, yes. So 2 minutes is a lot of time, do you think, to speak?
No, because of the thoughts, there are so many thoughts, and once you
Yes.
start speaking, and you speak so quickly, and you think you still have so many things to say, but then you just say, okay, back to you, over to you, and you just hand over, and I think the time, you do not reach the time.
Yes, I understand. I've gone through all of these, and when I joined Toastmasters in 2016, I was already an accomplished trainer, a coach, a corporate trainer. And when I gave my first table topic, I was way off the topic. And I thought, oh, I know to speak. Why can't I speak for just 2 minutes? But then I realized it's not about speaking for 2 minutes. It's about making sense in those 2 minutes. So that is something which we will go ahead and understand how exactly to go about understanding what the topic is all about and trying to deliver something which makes sense, right? So we'll keep it very simple. And in this 30 minutes or so that I have got, I will give you the tools. Now, if you want to get better at it, you will have to practice, practice, and practice. That's the only way out. There are no shortcuts, right? So let's start with, I have created an acronym which I called LOAD. So I'll be taking the load off your shoulders. And that is something which we will discuss today. And I usually don't use PowerPoints in a half-hour session. So it will be just the LOAD that we will be talking about. So L is listen. Okay. So let me see if you listen properly. Okay. So tell me this. Life is a bed of roses. What do you understand by this? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Life is a bed of roses. What's the meaning? What do you understand by it? Come on.
It's beautiful.
It's
Life
beautiful.
Cushy, it's comfortable.
It's easy, comforting.
Yes, comforting, easy. Okay. Any other ideas?
Life has like challenges.
Sorry?
Like roses, there are
But life has is a bed of roses, but roses have thorns also. But there will be challenges and difficulties.
Oh, see now, things are going in a different direction now, right? So yes, okay, great. All of you are to the point. All of you are correct because it's a perspective. It's nothing over here. When we share, there might be a few facts, but most of it is an opinion. Okay, so we need to first listen to what the topic is and then understand the underlying meaning of the topic and then share our opinion. That is the O of load. So let me ask you one more. Life is like an ice cream. What do you understand by this?
Enjoy it before it melts.
Enjoy it before it melts. Okay. What else? Yeah, Noor wants to say something.
Now, I was just thinking, if you take too big of a bite, it might hurt your teeth. Just like life can.
Oh, okay, going in a different direction. Yes, yeah, you will feel the brain freeze also. Yes.
Life is short.
Life is short. Okay.
It has different flavors.
Different flavors. Yes, ice cream flavors.
If it
Very
is
nice.
oversweet, it is.
Sorry?
If it is oversweet, you lose the taste. You don't like it if it is too sweet.
Oh, it should be just the right amount of sweet. Wow. Right. So see here, so many perspectives, right? Who is correct now? Tell me.
Everybody.
Okay, right. Okay, so let me give you a small story, okay, and you will understand what I'm talking about. So have you heard the story of four blind man and the elephant? You might have heard it. If you have heard it, please
Yes,
don't.
I
Okay,
have heard
yeah,
it.
Umar,
Yes.
don't. Shh, shh. I have to say it. Okay, okay. So there were four blind men. Okay, they were not born blind; they became blind over a period of time, but they had never seen an elephant. Okay, so in that town, it was announced that there will be an elephant coming to town, and everyone was excited. Oh, elephant, 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 right? So these four blind men said that, okay, we will try to understand what an elephant is. We know it's an animal, but we still, we need to understand what an elephant is. So they went to the town square where the elephant was tied. Okay, the first blind man, okay, touched the tail of the elephant. And he said, hey, elephant is somewhat like a rope. Elephant is like a rope. Okay. The other blind man touched the legs of the elephant and said, elephant is like a trunk of a tree. Then someone touched the stomach of the elephant. It's like a round wall, I believe. Elephant is like a round wall. And the last blind man touched the trunk of the elephant, and he said, oh, elephant is like a snake. And the elephant rider was sitting on the elephant, was laughing his heart out because nobody could see the elephant in its totality. And it's the same way with life. We as humans have not seen life in its totality. We have just seen one perspective of it, right? So what we need to understand is how exactly to go about, sharing our opinions. So opinions, everyone over here who shared their opinion is correct. Life is like an ice cream, right? It melts, enjoy before it melts and all those things, right? Different flavors. Everyone is correct, right? I can even disagree. No, life is not like an ice cream. It's a box of chocolates. Yeah, life is a bed of roses. Okay, no, it is not a bed of roses. Whatever. I need to share my opinion. I can agree or disagree with the topic. The A of load. Now here it becomes a little bit interesting. And most of you can work on this particular aspect. That is the anecdote. The anecdote. So once you listen and share your opinion of the topic, which is not more than 30 seconds, you don't keep on going on and on about your opinion. You just share it for the first 30 seconds. After that, you need to share an experience, a story, an incident, which ties down or which supports your opinion. Okay. So life is like an ice cream, eat it before it melts. So now you go towards the anecdote. So, life is like an ice cream. Sometimes, when we don't find the answers, we start speaking about the ice cream. But it's not the ice cream which we have to speak about. It's the life which we have to speak about. So there we start speaking about life. Okay, why? So, during the pandemic, I had this episode where I was breathless. Okay. And the life, went through my eyes and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to die now. I told my wife that, oh, it's everything is, take me to the hospital or not, I'm going to die now, right? And then she said, no, don't worry, have some water and, all those things. No, I said, everyone is dying and I'm also going to die. And then suddenly I had a big burp and it was just gas, right? So at that point of time, when I was reflecting, I actually felt that I was going to die. And then I started appreciating the small things in life. And that's why I feel, life is like an ice cream, eat it before it melts, right? So I can tie this particular incident or an anecdote to my opinion, right? Now, this is on the top of my head, which came. How exactly you find those anecdotes? Now, in impromptu speaking, I will give you the formula, which actually is not impromptu, okay? So you go and you find stories in your life which are 1 minute long, related to all these instances. Okay, stories of your courage, stories of love, stories of loss, stories of challenges that you have overcome. Okay, So all those stories you find and you start noting it down. You're journaling. You are all WordWise, right? So start noting it down. Create all those stories, okay, with the beautiful words that you use, and keep it handy. And then when you hear a topic and you share your opinion, then you might find some of the story which is apt for this particular opinion, and you attach that particular story to this particular opinion or this particular topic. And that's how you go about using anecdotes, because when you share stories, it becomes much easier, right, for people to follow, for people to remember it. And once you do that, after that, the last thing that you do is D is derive. Derive a life lesson out of it. Derive something out of it, right? Derive a takeaway for the audience, right? So I am sharing a story, and that's why I say this, okay? And you share something which is insightful at the end. Yeah. And this is how you structure. So impromptu speaking or any kind of speaking is all about systems and structures. If you follow the structure, you listen intently, try to understand the underlying meaning of the topic, then you share your opinion for the first 30 seconds. Then the next 1 minute, you share an incident which can support your opinion. Do you agree with the topic? Share an opinion, share an anecdote. Do you disagree with the topic? Share an anecdote related to that, right? And then you go on. After that, you derive. And you come back, loop into the topic and say that, okay, that's why I say, okay, life is like an ice cream. Eat it before it melts. Okay, enjoy it before it melts. Enjoy life. Look at the smaller things in life, and like Robin Williams, I believe in Dead Poet Society, he said, poetry and love and all these things we live for, right? So that is something which you can go ahead and work towards. Okay, there are other anecdotes, other acronyms also. One famous acronym is PREP, okay, which you will search on the internet, you will get it. PREP works in a similar way: point, reason, example, point. Point, reason, example, point. This is not something which I have made. This is already there. Okay. Load is something which I have made. Okay. So I have not patented it. So it's you can use it. No worries. You can reuse it. You can tell it as your own. That's okay. Right. So that is something which you can also use. And if you are dumbfounded, this is one thing which I keep on telling. If you're dumbfounded, if you don't know, say for example, the topic is related to Andromeda. Okay. Now, someone I told, Andromeda, and he said, oh, a new fruit or a sweet you are talking about. Okay, so not many people will know about Andromeda. It's a galaxy, right? So if you don't know, the what, why, how is a good way to go about it, right? So when you are not knowing about the topic, maybe you are talking about AI, maybe you are talking about cryptocurrency, okay? So you can go about talking about, okay, what exactly it is, why are we, what, why, and how, okay? It ties up to it. So what is the topic? Why are we talking about it? And how exactly it makes sense or whatever, right? So these are the three different aspects that you can, or three different structures that you can use in using impromptu speaking, and you can go ahead and practice. When I was, competing for table topics, and my final topic was what are the best gift you can give to someone. That was the topic. Okay. And when I heard the topic, okay, the first thing that came to my mind was, yeah, this person doesn't know grammar. Okay. If it's best, it cannot be, are too many things, right? It can be only one. Best is only one, right? So at that point of time, I said, okay, only one. I will stick to only one. Many people, they went about, you can give the gift of smile, you can give the gift of patience and all those things. I shared that, okay, I would like to just be there for people. Okay. Just being there is the best gift. Okay. And the example I gave that, I lost a particular competition in my college, and my best friend, He sat beside me and he was just there. He was not speaking a word and he was just there and I felt good. Okay. Whenever I lost something, when I was in a very bad mood, my mother used to bring, hot piping kheer for me. That was what, that was a way to show her love. Okay. And when my wife, okay, is unhappy or is, faces a problem, I dare not give her solutions. I just be there, right? Because as men, we tend to give a lot of solutions, right? So that is something which I do. And in the pandemic, we did see that being there is how important being there for people is. And that's why I say the best gift. So this was my answer, right? Not exactly a great answer, but it did reach the hearts of people. So because people had seen that pandemic and being there, and it related to them. So this is something which you can work towards. Try to find in the beginning when you start doing this, right? Our mind is such a beautiful thing that it will keep on flashing things. Okay. The one thing which we do is we don't listen to it properly. No. I want to use some good example. And in that, the word says, someone said, starts dancing, right? So the first flash that comes to you is the best example. Use that. If you can't share it, then you will need to read more, write more, as I told you, write more experiences so that there can be different kinds of flashes that come to you, and use the best of it and go forward. So your instinct is the best thing. Whenever I share something, okay, let me ask you the underline. Just tell me the underline meaning of this particular topic. Ships are safest at the harbor, but that's not what they are made for. Ships are safest at the harbor, but that's not what they are made for. What is the underlying meaning of this? According to
you have to come out of your comfort zone and live your
comfort
purpose.
zone. Yes, exactly. Comfort zone, right? You got the exact thing. In one word, you could define what the topic was related to. In the same way, there will be topics and you will have to define what exactly the topic is related to. And once you find that, then share your opinion, then go ahead and share an anecdote or an incident related to or supporting your opinion, and then derive the meaning out of it, right? So this is something which you can do. I also tell my coachees and mentees that there is something called as an emotions wheel. Okay, you Google search emotions wheel. There are 4 to 6 primary emotions, and then there are secondary emotions. Take that emotion wheel and start writing anecdotes on each and every emotion from your life. You can be the hero, or someone from your life can be the hero of that particular anecdote. Can be your mother, father, friend, whoever, spouse, whatever, right? So try to find those stories, those hero stories, those anecdotes in your life, okay? Prepare. And then you can take, we create, and I don't know what it's called in English, but in Hindi we say bhel puri. Okay, so you take one ingredient at a time and you mix it. So you have your opinion, you have your anecdote, you have your derivation. You have these three things and you use it. The anecdote is the mainstay, so you will need to prepare for it. Other things you can do it on the go, and it will suddenly become much easier for you to share this. Okay, so this is something which you can go ahead and try. And I believe this is what I wanted to share today. I will also share, I usually, take a lot of sessions. Okay, and I have created a note, okay, post-training note, okay, which I'll share with Cyril, and he can share it with all of you, related to the load and why and, all those things. And there are 10 different topics that I have prepared, okay, which is related to the professional side of it, because most of you might use it in a professional setup. So what you need to do is you can go ahead, use those topics and record yourself and see if something comes up in those 2 minutes. right? So there are around 10 topics, and these are all related to professional setup. So I do it professionally also. I'm giving you for free. Okay, just because Cyril is there. Okay, thank you so much. So this was it for me, and I am now open to questions. And if you have any questions, do share with me, and I will be happy to answer it. Hey,
Okay,
Amit,
so
you're right.
does anyone have any questions for DTM Abhinash?
Yes, Rajiv, go ahead.
I'll keep on asking you questions, but there is a limit of time. I will just stick with two now. First question is like, yeah, how much time do you think when you're on stage? Because this is a question I have heard a lot. How much time do you think we need to get started for the table topics, especially for the competitions? And second
For
question
competitions,
is,
there is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, complete it.
yeah. Second question ideally is, there would be topics where you have no idea at all what to speak. So what would be a simple strategy that we can deal with it? Not excel, but at least deal with it. Thank you.
Perfect. So the first answer is usually in a contest scenario, you will get 10 seconds. Maybe in a club scenario, you can push it to 15 maybe, but not more than that. So 10 to 15 seconds is something that you will get. But ideally take those 10-15 seconds, just to center yourself. It's not about remembering things and creating the 1.5 2 minutes thing in those 15 seconds. It's just that remembering, maybe centering yourself and remembering, okay, the flash, okay, what exactly is it related to, and then accordingly, what is that one incident which I can share related to this particular topic. And it should be only one incident. If there are too many incidents, then it will be a clutter. It will be very difficult for you to share a lot of things, right? So that is the answer for the first thing. Just center yourself for 10 seconds maximum and start speaking. Share your opinion. By the time you share your opinion, you will also get to the story or the anecdote, so you will get that time. Okay, don't try and share, okay, oh, awesome table topic master, what a topic that you have given us. Okay, and so my name is Avinash Singh and I'm so happy to speak about. 30 seconds gone over here, and you feel that others don't understand, but others understand that you're buying time. Okay, so just jump into the topic. Don't just share your opinion. Okay, it's okay to repeat the topic also, right? The second thing is the second answer. The question was that if I don't know about the topic, what do I do? Okay, so if you are in a contest scenario, you have already lost the contest. Okay, so forget about that. You have to speak for 2 minutes. If you don't know what life is like an ice cream is all about, start speaking about the ice cream. When was the last time you you tasted an ice cream? Something, right? Now, the word of the day, I can't even pronounce it. If I get that word of the day, I'll say, sorry, boss. Okay, I will start speaking about Noor, okay, the grammarian. Okay, wow, what a word wizard he is. Okay, now I have known Noor for a long time and he comes up with these gems. Okay, so I'll start speaking about Noor. So I have lost the topic already. Okay, I don't understand, that's gone. But what you need to do in these scenarios is, however you attempt it, once you come back, okay, once you are alone after the meeting, find out about the topic. Okay, learn about the topic, know more about the topic. So when I was contesting, I had this quote book, multiple quote books, and I used to go through those quotes and I used to practice, okay, if this is the topic. Okay, and I didn't read it and give myself 1 minute or 2 minutes, just 10 seconds, and I started attempting it. So try doing that. Whatever you can understand, if not the whole topic, whatever you understand, just speak on the topic. The topic is already gone. Okay, I hope I answered the question. Yes, Umar, over to you.
Yes, I just have one question. I was in district finals for table topic this year, and at that time I got the topic that people who live in the glass houses don't throw the stones. Now I was the last speaker. All 5 of them, like maybe you will given the interpretation, what is the actual meaning of it and all that. for me, I took a risk and I got into the humorous side of it. Why you live in a glass house? Everybody can see when you are having a wash, you're going to the bathroom and like taking a bath or anything. So I took, and the question was, they asked you to give the comments. What are your comments on it? I know what the meaning of it is actually, but I took it as a literal one and created some humor into it. And unfortunately, I was not able to win it, but still I went with it. So, do you think that sometimes going literally and adding humor to it, and not maybe intentionally, understood the topic, but you're not doing it? So, what do you think about that kind of a thing, strategy?
I feel, yes, thank you so much. Okay, I exactly the same thing. Yeah, in Hindi we say कि जिनके घर शीशे के होते हैं वो कपड़े नहीं बदलते, something like that, right? Okay, so that was the interpretation. That is the first thing which came to my mind also, right? But when you use the humor, okay, humor is for engagement. Okay, so you start speaking about it, about the humor in the beginning, but then go to the seriousness also. Okay, then you try to understand that, okay, if I have certain things that are not right with me, I don't have the right to question anyone else. First I have to look at myself, my own things that I am not very sure about, right? So you will have to understand the topic, share about the topic. You can use the humor in the beginning, but don't go about it for the whole 2 minutes. That's the only thing I feel. Come back to the main topic. Humor is good. We all have that humor. But if only humor, then it will not remain. Okay, because humor is like this. It just floats away. Okay. So engagement is good. The idea was good. You should also add the seriousness at the end. Right. Thank you so much. Okay, quickly, Irfan. Yeah, I am already on the yellow card. Irfan was first. Yes, Irfan, go ahead. Irfan.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. And I have a question for you. So
Yes.
when we start a table topic and we are trying to add some story, so we have very less time to complete the elements of the story. So how we can go from beginning to end and then resolution and takeaway the transition.
Okay, so the point here is that I already told you that the 1 minute that you have to prepare stories. Okay, the stories which you can finish in 1 minute. Okay, so the incidents that you start and then you finish, like when I shared about the pandemic, okay, I tried to make it very crisp. Okay, what was the main idea, the main climax, okay, about it, the conflict and the climax. I don't go about introducing characters and all those things, right? So in storytelling, if you have a lot of time, you can do that, but if it's less time, then just stick to what the elements, start, go to the conflict quickly and come to the climax quickly and then share. Okay, so characters, conflict, and climax is how you do storytelling. Okay, but quickly go through this in 1 minute, and for that you cannot do it on the spot, right? You'll have to practice it beforehand. Okay, and after some time, after you have given 25, 30, 50 such 1 minute stories, then your mind will be able to do it properly on its own. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. Okay,
We have Toastmaster Kuber and Toastmaster Ashkar with questions. Umar will come to you after that.
Yes, Omar asked one, so now Kuber, come on, Kuber.
Yeah, so I want to understand the D part, derive or takeaway. Can you explain, maybe add some examples there?
Yeah, so when you talk about, say for example, I'm talking about comfort zones, right? So when I talk about comfort zones and I give an example that, okay, I was in my comfort zone and suddenly, after that, once I came out of the comfort zone, I reached the panic zone. I went back to the comfort zone again. But then, I came back to the panic zone, crossed it, came to the learning zone. And today I know that I take risks. Okay, so I implore. Now, how I derive it, then I implore you to also take risks. Go out of your comfort zone, because unless and until you come out of your comfort zone, there is nothing that can be achieved inside the comfort zone, right? So do that. And that's why it is said that ships at the harbor. So I can use the main topic and end it with it. But you have to give an idea, derive something, a takeaway for the audience. That's why I say is something you can share. And what do you say about the topic is the message for the audience. And that is what derivation is all about, how you derive. Okay. It's already red card. Last, who you said, Cyril? Last one was?
Toastmaster Asghar. Go
Yes.
for it, Toastmaster Asghar.
Last one.
Thank you very much. While growing up, I was told to use quotations in your speech. So I built a sort of repository of quotations through notebooks and purchasing books. Now everyone is telling me not to use quotation in your speech. Your take.
Who is that? Who is that who is telling you? Okay, don't listen to them. Okay, see, quotations, it's like quotations are like seasoning in your speech, right? So you have to use it. If you put a lot of seasoning, it will not make sense, right? So in a speech, one quotation, two quotation is good, but if you use a lot of it, right? Okay, now I don't know if you have heard Navjot Singh Sidhu doing commentary. Okay, it doesn't make sense. He has so many quotations, so many proverbs. Okay, it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. The only thing that we get is humor. Okay, and that too, we are laughing on him, not with him, right? So that is something which you need to understand. In a table topic also, you can use one quotation per, and that should be a good one. Okay, like in Amitabh Bachchan says, वो अपन को 3 मारा बट अपन एक इंच मारा बट सॉलिड मारा कि नहीं, right? So you don't have to bombard people with quotations, but you can use quotation that really, and it should be related to what you are saying, and if you do it correctly, it will actually make sense, right? So I believe you should go ahead, use one quotation. If it's in a speech or in a table topic, please do use it. Okay. So I think we are out of time now. There are many other segments also. What we can do is you can send your questions to Cyril and he will send it to me and I will answer those questions for you and I will send it back to you. And thank you for having me here, Cyril. And over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DTM Avinash. That was truly illuminating. I'm so sorry I got cut off in the middles because my electricity went out. So yeah, my worst nightmare came true today. Anyhow, we will improvise and we will move on. So let's move on with this speeches segment now. Just for I will just share a little quote by Mark Twain. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. So our first speaker of the day is TM Rabia Mahnur. She is part of the ICAP Islamabad and joined Toastmasters in July 2023. She's a chartered accountant, and something I found very interesting is that she doesn't have a favorite fruit or flower. I guess it means that she loves nature in all its colors. TM Rabia Manu will be evaluated by our advanced evaluation team led by DTM Talha bin Hamid. Everyone knows DTM Talha bin Hamid. I mean, he's a celebrity. But here's a fun fact. His favorite quote on nature is, "Matter tells space, time how to curve, and space-time tells matter how to move," by John Wheeler. DTM Talha bin Hamid, please introduce your team and explain the project objectives. You can go ahead.
Right. I'm filling in for DTM Talha bin Hamid and
okay,
DTM Dania. You mentioned that Avinash's topic was really illuminating and you're sitting in darkness. The irony was not.
Oh, no.
Lovely. In the interest of time, just a quick announcement. Advanced evaluations is something that we're rolling out at WordWise Toastmasters. Anyone who's more than level 2 will get advanced evaluation. Basically, we'll comment on your delivery and your content and your overall pathway objectives separately as we are starting with Toastmaster Rabia. Coming to Toastmaster Rabia, she's attempting the level 3 of Project 1 of Dynamic Leadership Pathway, dealing with negotiate the best outcome. And the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different types of negotiations and the strategies that we can use when we negotiate. The member can also share some past or future negotiation in her life that she plans to do. So next time you go to a shopkeeper, remember Toastmaster Rabia's speech. I shall be taking over as the content evaluator, and I shall be assisted by Toastmaster Meher for the delivery. And back to you, Toastmaster Dania.
Okay, thank you, TM Cyril. TM Rabia Manur, please check your audio and video. Please spin the timer. Are you ready, TM Rabia?
Toastmaster Rabia, I will be timing.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, I hope you can see my screen.
No.
Please spin my screen.
Toastmaster Meher, you could alternately raise your hand so that you're right there on top for
Right. Thank
Toastmaster Rabia.
Yes, Toastmaster.
And I see that there's some amount of internet instability. If the rest of us could just switch off our videos, we'll save on bandwidth for Toastmaster Rabia. Over to you.
Should I start?
Yes, just a second. I'll do the introduction. TM Rabia Manur, how leaders are made. How leaders are made. TM Rabia Manur, you may begin.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, for inviting me to this session, and it's quite enjoyable session for me. Today, I'm gonna start with my speech, how leaders are made. First of all, I would like to ask the question from my audience. What do you think are the qualities that a leader should possess in himself? Please, anyone, please.
The ability to influence.
Ability to influence, good. Anyone else?
I think as a leader, I think he or she knows how to lead, not to order
How
to his team, how to lead, how to help out their team, and let the team be with him or her.
Okay, great.
Adding to what has been said, it's like demonstrating by the example. The other word to say what it's about demonstration. You do it and then you expect this or desire to be followed and to be executed as a leader.
Well, great. It means that you have to do yourself first, set an example, and then you ask them to follow you, whatever you have done. So that's great. Thank you so much to the audience for interacting with me in that situation. Okay, we will move to the next part. Today, we'll be discussing the most important aspect of a leader that he must possess. His negotiating style, his negotiating skills, strategies. Negotiation is all about a dialogue between two persons that might also lead to a conflict as well. But if you are well aware of the situation and you have the skills that how to counter those situations, then you would be able to reach a conclusion. It can be between manager or an employee, or it can be in someone in your group as well. For example, I'm a leader of my group, and some of my subordinates asks me that, Miss Leader, we are not going with your opinion to solve the problem, any of the problems. The first mode I can use is comparative style. I would say, you are not here to order me what to do. I'm here to order you that this is the way we are going to. This is comparative style. And there should be a negotiation that he is trying to communicate to me something, that there must be some obstacles in this way. So, Miss Leader, you should not go to this route. We may have the alternative routes. He might have a better opinion than me. But what I did, that no, you're not open to it. So this is a competitive style. The other one is collaborative style. It means that you also listen to them, you have a mutual understanding with that person, and then you will be able to meet the conclusion after listening to them. For example, the question raised for me as a leader and how I responded is, okay, Mr. ABC, I'm here to open to your questions. Sure, you can guide me. You might know better than me. There's an opinion as well. And he might suggest me some other routes. And I will also be able to convince him on my principles or rules, and he might be sharing his opinions. And in this way, we would be able to meet a collaborative style of opinion. And this is another approach. The next one is accommodative style. In such kind of style, the one may also sacrifice his opinion or his interests for the other one. For example, a manager and an employee, they are in a conflict and they need to have a negotiation. What manager does is he invites the employee to his office and says, yes, you can put your opinions. He says that I cannot join at 9:30. That's the time. As I come from a far away place and it takes me 2 hours to reach the office place. So please, can you give me a chance to arrive here at 10 o'clock? That would not be a problem as I would be completing my work on my time, and manager says that, okay, we can change your time. We can move it from 10 to 5:30 if it's 9:30 to 5. Then this is the principle that manager has changed. So these are the negotiation styles that a leader should adopt in order to go through with all the situations he comes up with. There are some solutions, there are some techniques that a leader can adopt. There are strategies that he should be open to the questions, and a leader should be objective while having negotiations. While you are having a conflict with the another person, you should listen to them. What are their interests? What is he trying to say? You should not be subjective and not be stubborn at all. And there's a quote which says, negotiation is a thing. Negotiation means getting the best of your opponent. This is a Marvin Gaye's quote. So this is how you will be able to please your team as well as a leader. These are the things that you will need to progress in your life. So this is all from my side, and I hope that we will be taking these advices or these techniques in our life while having the negotiations, as we would be leaders in our life onwards, inshallah. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, TM Rabia. That was a wonderful presentation on the traits of a good leader. So I'll be moving on. Our next segment is the interpretive reading segment. For this session, I would like to invite our curator of the day, DTM Mohammed Farooq. DTM Mohammed Farooq, a chartered accountant and audit partner by profession, and loves mangoes and tulips. He is a national champion of the International Speech Contest 2020, the national champion of Urdu Speech Contest 2022. Note to the timer, the presentation will be 8 minutes long, the Urdu segment will be 3 minutes long, and the English segment will be 5 minutes long. With that, I pass the stage to DTM Farooq.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day.
I'll be needing the screen sharing rights.
Yes,
You have it,
clear?
sir. You have it. You're clearly audible and visible, and please confirm that you have screen sharing rights. Yes, you do.
Yes. Can you share my screen? Can you see my screen?
We saw it briefly. Now we see you. Just 1 second. I believe that's because your spotlight. No, we don't see your screen anymore. Yes, we do.
Yes. जहाजाद नीचे गली में तेरे दर के आगे ये मैं सोख्तसर हसन कूजागर हूँ तुझे सुबह बाजार में बूढ़े अत्तार यूसुफ की दुकान पर मैंने देखा तो तेरी निगाहों में वो ताबनाकी थी मैं जिसकी हसरत में 9 साल दीवाना फिरता रहा हूँ जहाजाद 9 साल दीवाना फिरता रहा हूँ ये वो दौर था जिसमें मैंने कभी अपने रंजूर कूजों की जानिब पलट कर न देखा वो कूजे मेरे दस्ते चाबुक के पुतले गिलो रंगो रोगन की मखलूक बेजा वो सरगोशियों में कहते हसन कूजागर अब कहाँ है वो हमसे खुद अपने अमल से खुदावंद बनकर खुदाओं की मानिंद है रुए करता जहाजाद 9 साल का दौर यूं मुझ पर गुजरा जैसे किसी शहर मदफून पर वक्त गुजरे नगारों में मट्टी कभी जिसकी खुशबू से वारिफ्ता होता था मैं संग बस्ता पड़ी थी सुराही ओ मीना ओ जामो सुबू ओ फानुस ओ गुलदा मेरी हेच माया मईशत के इजहार फन के सहारे रस्ता पड़े थे मैं हसन कूजागर बगिल सर पाक बर सर बरहना सरे चाक जोलीदा मुंह सर बजानू किसी गमजदा देवता की तरह वहम के गिलोला से ख्वाबों के सयाल कूजे बनाता रहा था जहाजाद 9 साल पहले तू नादां थी लेकिन तुझे ये खबर थी कि मैंने हसन कूजागर ने तेरी ख्वाफ की सी उफक ताब आंखों में देखी है वो ताब ना की कि जिससे मेरे जिस्मो जान साहब का रहगुजर बन गए थे जहाजाद बगदाद की वो रात वो रोद दजला का साहिल वो कश्ती वो मल्लाह की बंद आंखें इसी खस्ता जा रंजबर कूजागर के लिए एक रात वो कहरबा थी कि जिस तक है पेवस्त उसका वजूद उसकी जान उसका पैकर मगर एक ही रात का जोक दरिया की वो लहर निकला हसन कूजागर जिसमें डूबा तो उभरा नहीं है जहाजाद मैं आज तेरी गली में यहाँ रात की सर्द गू तीरगी में तेरे घर के आगे खड़ा हूँ सरो मुंह परीशा दरीचे से वो काफ की सी तिलिस्मी निगाहें मुझे आज फिर झांकती हैं जमाना जहाजाद वो चाक है जिस पर मीना और जामो सुबू और फानुस और गिल्दा की मानिंद बनते बिगड़ती हैं इंसान मैं इंसान हूँ लेकिन ये 9 साल जो गम के कालिब में गुजरे कूजागार आज एक तोदा खाक है जिसमें दम का असर तक नहीं है जहाजात बाजार में सुबह अतार यूसुफ की दुकान पर तेरी आंखें फिर एक बार कुछ कह गई हैं इन आंखों की ताबिंदा शोखी से उठी है फिर तोदा खाक में नम की हल्की सी लर्जिश यही शायद इस खाक को गिल बना दे तमन्ना की वसत की किसको खबर है जहाजात लेकिन तू चाहे तो मैं बन जाऊं फिर वही कूजागर जिसके कूजे थे हर काको कू और हर शहर करिया की नाजिश कि जिनसे अमीरो गदा के मसाकिन दरख्शा तमन्ना की वसत की किसको खबर है जहाजात लेकिन तू चाहे तो फिर मैं पलट जाऊं अपने उन महजूर कूजों की जानिब इलोला के सूखे तगारों की जानिब मईशत के इजहार फन के सहारों की जानिब कि मैं दिलों से इस रंग रोगन से फिर वो शरारे निकालूं जिनसे दिलों के शराबे हों रोशन थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर लिसनिंग दिस इज द पोएम बाय नून मीम राशिद नून मीम राशिद इज वन ऑफ द greatest poet in Urdu language in 20th century. But his poetry is most of the time interacts with intellectuals. Just not famous in the masses, but the intellectual level or the intellectual class of society, they are the audience of his poetry. The poetry which I just presented is a metaphorical story in which he personify and his ideal in the shape of a Jahazad, a beautiful girl. And then he was potter. And he was a very famous potter, and he was famous that he brings life to the play. And his piece of pottery was a piece of art. But when he saw Jahazad first time in his life, he lost, and he went mad about her. And he left everything, his pottery, his art, and he went into the searching of Jahazad in the streets of Baghdad, and he spent 9 years to find her. And when he found her in the market, he followed her, and he went into her house. And now what he is saying, how 9 years spent search of that lady. It's a very big poetry. There are 4 parts. I just present one part. What poet wants to say? There are so many interpretations you can derive from it. But what I took it, there is a human instinct to strive, to struggle, to find your solution, to find your ideal. If you believe you can find it, it justifies your struggle, your efforts. But if you believe you cannot find it, still you have to struggle. Now, this is a very weird concept. When I was searching it, I couldn't find so many examples from the contemporary world. But when I read the Islamic Sufism, it's full of the example. Ask any Sufi, what is your ideal? Can you achieve it? And he will say no. Then why you are struggling? Then he will say, because we are made to struggle. We are meant for struggle. So this is the concept. Take your ideal. If you can find it, you have to justify your struggle. Cannot find it. Still, human mean to struggle, mean to find, mean to put efforts. No matter you are successful or you are fail, no matter you can find your ideal or not, but the struggle will be human instinct. I will end one of my anecdotes, which I just learned from the Avinash. I was sitting in a very competitive exam in Pakistan and I failed. I appeared second time, third, fourth, fifth, but I couldn't qualify. So one day I went to one Sufi and I show him my hand. And I say, Sheikh, look at my hand. It is not in my destiny. Tell me so I can stop. And he looked at my hand and he said, what all I can see, you can't try, you will not find it. You will try, you may find or you may not find. What I can see from your hand, if you cannot try, you will not find it. With this, I'll hand over to my Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Mohammed Farooq. बहुत खूबसूरत शायरी थी बहुत अच्छी. I love that the idea that life is a struggle and you have to go after what you want, but of course it is a struggle. Beautiful. So let's keep the meeting in flow. A quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who says, "Nature always wears the colors of the spirit." And by this, I advance the meeting to the most exciting segment of the day, the extempore writing segment. Put your hands together for the curator of the day, TM Meher Tanveer. Woohoo, TM.
Thank you very much, this Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Dania. I hope that the spotlight has been removed. President Cyril, can you confirm? Sorry, you're muted.
It's been removed. You're on spotlight.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so now we're here with our most enthusiastic and exciting and engaging segment, the extempore writing segment.
Toastmaster Meher,
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Did we have another speaker, Toastmaster Fazal, who
We
is
did
being
have.
evaluated by Toast?
Yes, but I thought perhaps, oh, he is here. Yes, of
Yep.
course he is here. Yes.
Toastmaster Fazal, if you're ready to speak, I think we'll run you first, and then we'll come back to the extempore segment.
Yes, I am ready.
Yes. So sorry, I
Splendid.
thought
All right.
perhaps
Thank
he
you.
wasn't here. That's why he moved on. All right.
Toastmaster
should I?
Dania, back to you to
Yes,
introduce
actually,
the
I was
evaluate.
sweating. Yeah.
Thank you. Toastmaster Dania, could you please introduce Toastmaster Fazal?
Yes, I do not have that on my script because I think we didn't, include it in our script.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no worries at all. No worries at all. Let's take over. Toastmaster Fazal shall be evaluated by Toastmaster Salman. I see that Toastmaster Salman's also there in the room.
Yeah.
Over to you, Toastmaster Salman. And before you say anything, we'd like to hear from you your favorite fruit and your favorite flower.
Would you like to hear from me?
Your
If you
favorite
allow me
fruit.
to get back to Toastmaster Kate, Toastmaster Dania, can you please introduce so that I can explain the purpose of Fazal speech? Toastmaster Salman, I cannot hear you.
Shall we go back to no cameras so that we can save on Salman's bandwidth? Toastmaster Rabia, Toastmaster Noor, you guys can turn off your cameras.
Toastmaster Sarah, shall I explain the purpose of this speech?
Go for it. Yes, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to evaluate the speech of Fazal Akbar. He's going to deliver his project 2, Understanding Your Communication Style, and level 2 of Effective Coaching Pathway. And his speech title is Understanding My Communication Style. Over to you, Toastmaster Fazal Akbar, and best of luck. Am I audible and visible to all of you? Toastmaster Salman, can you verify, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Salman. Ladies and gentlemen, before going ahead, I have a question from you. Do you know what is your communication style? Can anyone tell me? What is your own communication style?
Humorous.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And okay, do you know what is the communication style of your boss? If there is anyone.
It's always dictatorial. Always dictatorial.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I have one last question. Do you know what is my communication style? Anyone?
I think we'll find out.
Thank you so much. Don't worry, even I myself don't know what is my communication style. And you are right, we will find it out. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, as per the Toastmaster International's guidelines, there are 4 types of communication style. Number 1, the direct communication style. Number 2, the analytical communication style. Number 3, the supportive communication style. And number 4, the initiative communication style. Now, let us discuss these 4 types with examples. For example, number 1, the direct communication style. When we talk about the direct communication style, it is more focused, direct, to the point. And in this style, a communicator does not leave a room for the other person to speak. For example, a couple of months before, I approached the director of our organization, who is also my line manager. And I approached him for leaves, to take leave. He abruptly rejected my application and he said, Fazal, are you in your senses? We have an important event coming next week and you are going to take leave. How is that possible? And he went to the system and rejected the application. So in this communication style, you might have noticed, did he leave any room for me to speak? I had to take the leave immediately. He didn't let me even speak. Did he give me some conditions that if you are to provide some backup in your place, you will be allowed to take leave? No, he didn't accept anything. This is called direct communication style, where the speaker is assertive, decisive, and leaves no room for discussion. The second communication style is analytical communication style. In this style, the speaker speaks with logic and with data, and he is analytical. Again, some 3 months before, we were organizing a mega event, and I received a call from one of the higher ups in my organization. And he said, Fazal, where are we on the event? I said, sir, we are going good. And he said again, what do you mean by good? How many registrations we have received? I said, sir, we have received 30 registrations. Only 30 registrations? What is the target? Sir, we have the target of 100 registrations. And how many days we are left with? Sir, 2 days are left. 2 days are left. You have been working on the project and you have received only 30 registrations. How can you say that we are good on the project? So this is analytical kind of communication where the speaker, the other speaker, I'm not talking about myself, the one who is giving the order, he says that he's talking with data, he talks with proof, and he proved me wrong with data. I was wrong. I was talking in generic style of communication, but he was talking with the data. So this is called analytical communication style. The next communication style is the supportive communication style, where the speaker is accommodating other person. He is attentive and supportive. In my organization, I have this reputation that when there is a difficult person to handle, he is being sent to me. When he comes to me, what I do is that when I'm doing something on my laptop, on my mobile, I ask the permission of them, please give me 2 minutes. And when I'm done, I put all those gadgets aside and turns towards them. Yes, sir, how can I help you? And when he speaks, I will speak to him attentively. I will let him speak. Even though if he speaks nonsense, I will just listen to him. And he finishes. When there's something I need to get clarification, I ask him, please clarify this a little bit, explain this. When he explains this, then I will come to him and give him my answer. That is my way of communication, and this is called supportive style of communication. The last one is the initiative communication style, where the speaker is more funny and he is sociable, more approachable as well. And he's also kind of engaging. We just observed a brilliant speech education session from DTM Avinash, which is the perfect example of initiative communication style, where he engaged the audience and he was funny and humorous as well. He communicated the message in a very brilliant style. This is initiative style of communication. So ladies and gentlemen, why do we need to know this communication style? We need to know this communication style in order to improve our own communication. When I come to know that what is the way of the communication of my boss, I will speak to him that way. If I know about any other person, if I know about his communication style, I will go to him. The next time I go to the the higher up who spoke to me on the occasion of the event. When I again approach him, I will speak with him with the data. So I have one last question to you. What is my communication style now? Ladies and gentlemen, anyone? Hello.
Brilliant,
Are you there?
brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's relatable and humorous. You seem to have learned from your experience.
Okay, thank you so much. And actually, unfortunately, I can say that I have been unable to communicate the message so clearly. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, TM Fazil Akbar. That was a wonderful speech. Amazing. Okay, so I've already introduced TM Meher Tanvir, so I'll pass it on to her again with another woohoo. On to you, TM Meher.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, and thank you, Toastmaster Fazil and Toastmaster Salman, for stepping in and improvising as we are moving on. So I hope our writers are ready. We got that bit of break. I think everybody needed a little bit more time, and someone was praying hard, so we got an interjection there with another speech. The first person who raised her hand was Toastmaster Fatima. So if you're ready, my dear, then we can start with you.
Yeah, sure, I'm ready.
All right. So I'm going to repeat the topic, and then I'm going to reset the time. And I will try my best to multitask here. All right. All the writers have 3 to 5 minutes. So I will show the green card at 3 minutes, the yellow card at 4 minutes, and the red card at 5 minutes. And then you'll be given a grace period of 30 seconds. The topic of the day was forgiveness is the fragrance of the violet which still clings fast to the heel that crushed it. Over to you, Toastmaster Fatima Abid.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meher. In the white tapestry of this mortal life, from ab initio till today, the exquisite and delicate yarns and threads that intricately weave our destinies, embellish and adore it with ornaments and jewels of emotions. These dearly and compelling sentiments serves as the mellifluous, gentle and light puffs of melodious air of love, care, humanity, and forgiveness. This embellishment that enchants us and beautify our lives at times causes a bit discomfort by making us wonder the reason of it, because it offers sometimes pain, irritation, and a little inconvenience, but at the same time it offers the beauty. But the thing to ponder upon is that these are the same stones, jewels, and gems that blows the captivating fragrance to us and make us feel the real inanimate life. Since we should also not forget to share the fragrance of the forgiveness and acceptance by the volumes of our lives when being crushed by the heels of the life and fate, and not to forget about all the bounties of the jewels and exorbitant stones that it offers to make it beautiful. Let us opt forgiveness and acceptance, as forgiveness is the fragrance of the violet sheds on the heels that has crushed it. Because there's always positivity behind every crush and new. So let us opt forgiveness and acceptance. This is from my side, back to Toastmaster Meher.
Wow, thank you very much, Toastmaster Fatima. I'm always really amazed and impressed and moved by the lyrical beauty of your writing. And I can feel your emotions coming through so fluidly and so clearly and so bravely. You're a courageous writer, in my point of view. And I really love how you captured the essence of the topic and captured the beauty of the topic with your words. Thank you so much for sharing your piece. The next writer that we have with us is Toastmaster Noor Malik, from whom we will be hearing after a long time. He's currently indulging his wanderlust as he often does. And we have lots to hear from him, from his travel story. So it's a treat to have you back, Toastmaster Noor. Toastmaster Noor, over to you. Fragrance of the Violets.
Thank you very much. I'll dive into it right away. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Good for the sake of good, unconditional good, the nature of virtue, of good and evil, are the questions that have occupied the greatest thinkers of humanity ab antiquo. What is the nature of virtue? Socrates had his version of explaining it. In short, good is what good does. To him, virtue was not something that inherently existed or had a theoretical concept, theoretical composition. It is something that is practiced. And the more it is practiced, the better is the form in which it exists. I'd say a lesson learned well from nature by Socrates. Nature is not a theoretical concept. It exists. It's real. It's tangible, observable, inspirational, and refreshing. Socrates was right on point. The Latin sense will tell us it is derivative of vir, which means a man. Virtus, a quality that makes a man. A man. For the Latins, it was the very definition of a human being. Do we, however, get an answer in nature for this very question? The topic of the day addresses one such virtue, forgiveness. The crushed flower in its very virtus, if I may, will exude fragrance. The poetic description being that by the very virtue of it, a flower is unconditionally forgiving. Forgiveness because it gives the best fragrance when it is completely crushed. As an inspiring writer, I had often wondered, can I even write well? What is something that I can write about that nobody else has done before? There are volumes upon volumes of writing. What makes mine stand out? The answer for me lies again in nature. I looked at the sky and thought about a way to describe it. I then wondered, what if I had someone else describe the sky that they see? And another person, and another. Chances are no two persons will describe the same sky in precisely the same way. And I had my answer. I can write about things the way I see them, the way I think about them, and the way I have perceived them. This very fact, the reflection of my own self upon the subject I write about, is what makes it unique, another lesson from nature. And there are numerous other instances, some common wisdom that has come down to us. Trees burn in the heat to provide shade to others. Only a tree laden with sweet fruit is the one that bends. The grass that doesn't bend breaks. And so on and so forth. Nature indeed is beautiful. Unconditionally, a flower gives the fragrance, a bee stings and provides honey, the sun shines and warms us, all without prejudice, all without condition. The core of the lesson being virtue, as in the Socratic sense, is the practice of doing good. Nature provides us as if with a language, divided in an infinite array of elements that it sprinkles all around the universe. What we spell with the Latin letters as forgiveness, forgiveness, nature spells out by emanating a sweet fragrance from a delicate and beautiful flower getting crushed under a heel. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you, Noor, for that philosophical, thoughtful take on the topic. While Toastmaster Fatima poured out her heart and brought so much love into her writing, Toastmaster Noor has taken us to another level of thought and intellect, and just raised this audience to a sublime level of understanding of the world around us, beautifully connected with the theme of the day as well, and picking out the metaphors from nature and describing them as the language of nature. Wonderful. You've just brought out the need to be more observant of the world around us, and you have brought out the beauty of nature so well. And your introduction was astounding. It was a wonderful, it started so intellectually, but then you kept raising our what should I say? We kept raising our thought process and our feelings and our emotions to the sky is beautiful. I just absolutely, I feel at one with nature after listening to you. All right, our last speaker of the day is Toastmaster Gule Zahra, another very gifted writer. Are you ready?
I hope I come across true to your words. I hope, and yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. So over to you, Toastmaster.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, Toastmaster Gule Zahra.
Okay.
Fragrance of the Violets.
How many of you have watched the Bollywood movie Lage Raho Munna Bhai, which was a sequel to the famous Munna Bhai MBBS, which was released back in 2006? Even if many of you have, or some of you may have not, I may recall a scene for you. Harking back to the time when I watched it, there is a particular visual where Sanjay Dutt, who is the protagonist, Munna Bhai, is being slapped on the left cheek by the concierge of the society. In response, Munna Bhai exclaims magnanimously that Bapu said, Bapu is Gandhiji, if someone hits you on the left cheek, present him with the right cheek. And he does exactly that, proffering his right cheek as an open invitation, ready to be read. He says, here, smiling profoundly. Against the rules of Gandhigiri, the bodyguard again lands a backhanded slap on his right cheek, so that the smile falls off his face right away. What does he do? He turns a power-packed punch to the bodyguard and claims somewhat innocently, जब दोनों गाल पर पड़ जाए तो क्या करने का ये बापू ने नहीं बताया था अपन को. If you get hit on both cheeks, you retaliate, packing all your force in landing that one decisive blow. At that time, I remember relaxing back on the couch, thinking, thank goodness, Newton's third law of motion that says every action has an equal and opposite reaction still holds true. But today, I wonder, when the heel crushed the violet, how come it still emanated the fragrance to envelop its oppressor within its own aura? Perhaps that's no rocket science. It is simple, yet not simplistic, because I recall Shakespeare's adage, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Not because of the any worldly attributes that we assign to it, but because of the essence of what a rose is, its inherent attribute of spreading the smell or the fragrance that it's inherent to it. Perhaps this is not a matter of science, but a profound lesson in the art of forgiveness. It reminds us that true grace is not about adhering strictly to principles of retaliation or turning the other cheek. Instead, it is about transforming adversity into an opportunity to manifest our highest virtues. And these can be done only through when we explore the themes of self, especially by poets like Iqbal. And then I would simply continue to say that, yes, forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it, simply because that's the violet has to offer. That's what violet has to know, known as its self-awareness. That what the violet has known about itself through self-awareness. That's why it offers that, because it's the only thing that it can offer that is true to it, and that's its true nature. That's all. Over to you.
I would not be offering fulsome praise. It's one of the words of the day that was shared on the WordWise group. I would not be offering fulsome praise if I were to tell you that if I take off my glasses, you would be seeing that they are actually moist with emotion. I'm so moved. It's such a poignant piece. I think that the way that our three writers have actually taken us on this transcendental journey, I will say, it seems as if they were all pearls on a necklace, or one necklace, and we were going through the beads one by one. And I believe that Toastmaster Gulizara has offered such a wonderful conclusion to this session, and she has taken an anecdotal take on the topic, where she told us to move beyond science and logic and reason and the laws of physics and the laws of the universe, and go for something else. It's something else. It's the nature of nature. It's the nature of the flower. It simply cannot offer anything else. And as Noor said, that it's when it's fully crushed, that's when its full essence emanates and envelops us with all its effusive beauty and its effusive its gentleness, and that in fact is such a high lesson to learn. It's so much more that we have to learn from our world, not just maths and science and reactions and interactions. It's so much more. It's such a higher calling indeed. I feel, as they say, that forgiveness is divine. The way these three writers have presented this topic, I feel like I have understood it for the first time. Indeed, forgiveness is divine. It's something else. It's something otherworldly. It's not something that comes from materialism, from anything earthly. So that is all I have to say for today. I am at a loss for words, and I would like to hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, TM Meher. Those were such poignant words. And a very big thank you to all the participants who shared those magical words. Truly enlightening. So before I head on, I would like to share a quote by John Keating, who was a very pivotal character in the movie Dead Poets Society. He says, "No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world." And I think this quote actually just proves the point made by our three brilliant writers. So yeah, let's move on. I'm super pumped to finally introduce the last segment of the day, the general evaluation, which will be led by none other than the WordWise member and Sergeant at Arms, DTM Ahmed Abdullah. DTM Ahmed Abdullah is a mechanical engineer by profession. He joined Toastmasters in 2019. His favorite fruits are mango, plum, so there are two, and his favorite flower is the tulip. Now, before I hand over the gavel to our esteemed member, a few parting words before I go. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they shall never sit. This is a Greek proverb, and it actually made me feel something when I first heard it. I don't know when I heard it, but I definitely did. So yeah, plant a tree, just do it. It's not up to you which tree it might, grow up to be, but for certain, one thing is for certain, which is that it will give shade. And if you're lucky, it might even give fruit. So yeah, just do good and be good and live every moment of your life and seize it. And like always, have literature by your side to guide you. Now I can finally have some water and relax and hand it over to our general evaluator of the day, DTM Ahmed Abdullah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dania. I am an outstanding person today because I'm standing in for two people today. The second person I'm standing in is for the general evaluator. I shall be taking over the general evaluator role. As the general evaluator, it's my duty to call upon all the role players and ask for their evaluations, also direct the speech evaluations and give my comments on the meeting as well. Starting with the timer, let me call upon the timer, Toastmaster Meher, to give us an overview of where we are in terms of time and how well the speakers did in terms of time.
Right. So we are slightly off schedule, but we can still make it if we talk fast. And my bad, actually, I was also filling in for the timer and got a bit distracted. So if I may take this responsibility on myself and say that all the speakers qualified, because they did actually qualify, it was because I failed to show the card on time. So I
Thank you.
think that, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I agree that all the speakers did meet their timing guidelines. Over to our grammarian, Noor Malik, who presented us with probably the toughest word that anyone can use in a speech. Over to you on how we did in terms of language.
Thank you very much. I would congratulate Toastmaster Meher for using it very well. This was introduced by Dante, so I thought we could raise the bar a little bit, but I think, yeah, it's okay. The general grammar evaluation, two notable usage, of course, there were some parts where it was just impossible to focus on the grammar because they were beautiful, but one phrase used was modern musings of contemporary poets. Again, brought to my mind again the whole saga we had about muses and musing and museums and all of that. That was beautiful. I think a nice walk down the memory lane. If you don't try, you won't find it. That was very beautiful, and I think a very, very strong way to end the speech from TTM Farouk. Some improvements, there are general ones, very common mistakes. For example, he may have a better opinion than me. You should say he may have a better opinion than I, because in this case, you and he both are subjects. None of you are receiving an action. So you can't say him, you have to say he, even though it sounds weird, but that's because we have made this mistake so much over the past century or so that it's become common to say, you are better at it than, I'm better at it than him, for example. This is again incorrect. I'm better at it than he. Just to help yourself, add an is at the end, just to say than him is. No, I'm better at it than he is, right? This makes it easier to use it correctly. Then was doing good versus doing well. Again, this is a very common semantic mistake. Doing good means the nature of the action you are doing. I do good when I give to charity, or I do good when I help somebody. Doing well means the manner of the action. So I am writing well. So I am doing it well. So when somebody asks you, how are you doing? The answer is not, I am doing good. It basically means you're doing some action of goodness. You have to say, I am doing well, which means being, the nature, the manner of that is intended. The one thing I wanted to delve a little bit more into about was ask any Sufi what is your ideal. This brought to my mind a very complex, if I may, this set of rules about forming interrogative or imperative form of sentences when they are added as a clause to another sentence when it's a question. So for example, the correct usage here, since what you said is not a question, it's a sentence, it's a statement, you cannot insert a question in its original form. So you can't say, ask any Sufi, what is your ideal? What is your ideal is a question. You will have to change its form to say what your ideal is, right? And this is what happens to a question every time it becomes a dependent clause, even if the main clause is another question. So an example I have here is, did I even know what my purpose was? Did I even know maintains its form of a question because the sentence itself is a question, but what my purpose was changes its form because it's a dependent clause. And so you can keep on doing some more gymnastics with it. A very complicated example I had was, for example, you can have multiple main clauses all being questions. Did I know? Could I have known? Was it possible even to know what I had been doing, what my purpose had been? So the last two depend on the first three questions, and so they have their form changed, but the first ones don't because they contribute to the main part of the sentence. This I wanted to be the core of takeaway, how to accommodate questions into your statements. You have to change their form. Verb has to go to the end, just like German does it. But it really depends on what the role of that thing is. It can either be a statement itself, the whole sentence, or it can be a question. But do keep in mind the other two ones if this is too complicated for you. Don't say, I'm better at it than him. I'm better at it than he. And also, what was the second one? Oh yeah, doing good versus doing well. I think this one you can practice every day. Somebody asks you, hey, how are you doing? You don't say good, you say well, right? It's yeah. Just do that one, I guess, until the next meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Cyril.
Thank you. It's a delight listening to Toastmaster Noor as the general evaluator. Let me just remove the spotlight from you. And I tremble the day he takes over as a general evaluator because his observations are so detailed and so incisive that we better have a great meeting going on when Noor is the general evaluator. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Noor. Calling on the speech evaluators, we have the first speaker, Toastmaster Rabia, who is being evaluated by a panel. I'm part of the panel, and so is Toastmaster Meher. Let me spotlight Toastmaster Rabia, just 1 second. And let me add myself to that spotlight. Okay, there we go. Am I audible? I should be.
Yes.
I'll quickly.
Sorry, should I time you?
I'll quickly run with it. So Toastmaster Rabia, you give us a very clear picture about letting us know about the various styles of negotiation, which is part of your project. And you also walked us, albeit briefly, about the various negotiation strategies. It was very, very clear that you did your homework very well. I learned about competitive style, I think collaborative style. The last one was accommodative style, I believe. You're blessed with a very clear and measured sense of speaking. You know, there is absolutely no risk that the audience would lose even a single word of what you say. Articulation is a God-given gift, and that's something that you have plenty. Let me talk a little bit more about how we can use that gift better. Right? Number one would be try to connect with your audience better. You have all the hooks of a great speaker. Let's use those hooks, effectively. Break it down for us, simple people, right? Competitive style, it's a dictator style. My way or the highway. Collaborative style is a democratic style, right? Accommodative style, teamwork. Try to break it down so that your audience is a mixture of geniuses like Noor and plebeians like me. So find that balance by appealing to both of us. Another technique I would say that try to make the stories your own, right? So rather than saying a leader in an office may say this way, say that my boss talks this way. The moment the stories become personal, it stops being a speech, it becomes a story. And the moment your listeners are also invested in it. My internet connection is unstable. I'm getting a message. Are you able to hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, lovely. All right. A couple of other things. You spend about 15 seconds in the introduction. Yeah, don't bother with that. Just launch yourself into the speech. Think that every speech is a contest speech. Every second is valuable. So just launch yourself into your story. Don't bother with the introduction. It's a T-Mod's headache to introduce you and your flowers and everything. And another thing, inviting the audience is scary because the moment you throw that road open, there could be 5 people, 7 people. Today there were 5 people, right? You need to stop. 3 answers only because managing your speech on time is your duty, right? Therefore, ensure that it can be a slippery slope. Yeah, you're the controller of your time. You're the controller of your speech. So ensure that you have that in mind as well. I really enjoyed the content. Absolutely no comments on the content, but try to make it a little more easier for the audience to follow you. That's it from my side. And let me add Toastmaster Meher to evaluate your delivery style. Give me 1 moment to find Toastmaster Meher. There you go.
All right. Thank you for that, Toastmaster. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Cyril. Now, content and delivery, they are interconnected. So as Toastmaster Cyril also said that making the stories your own, that also lends to giving leverage to allowing more vocal variety and emotions to be expressed in your speech. Now, scientifically, it has been proven that people tend to remember, or an audience tends to remember a message better when they manage to make an emotional connection with it. If you have an emotional connection, a synapse goes off in your brain, and then you are able to recall that event even many years after it has taken place. And more than 70% of your delivery is actually of an effective delivery is actually the body language, the non-verbal cues, which involves your gestures, your overall posture, body language, as well as the vocal variety. So I would like to connect that if rather than starting by thanking the Toastmaster of the day or thanking anyone, just rush straight into your speech. This is a point on content, but it will lend to your vocal variety in that it can give you that opportunity to start your speech with a bang. You know, maybe something humorous, or maybe something that is explosive, or maybe something that captures the attention of the audience immediately, because you are able to you're able to leverage your pitch in order to leverage your sound and maybe your gesture. You can even start with a gesture to capture the audience's attention. I did like, however, that you went into an interactive mode and you asked asked questions from the audience. That was a very good technique. Please do, I would advise to please employ more vocal variety, more tonal variety, like highs and lows of pitch. If you go back and see the video of your speech, you might think that maybe, you know, it was maybe proceeding at a slightly plateaued pitch. And I believe that your content, which was excellent, has a lot of opportunity to be expressed in a more emotional way. Which also helps to mark the transitions between one form of leadership to the next. For example, you can say, and now the next leadership style is so on and so forth. Or when you introduce the dialogue between a boss and an employee, you could also use the screen space, and you could maybe, you know, move to one side at a 45-degree angle, and you could act as the boss, and then to the other side, and you could act as the employee. And then you could also vary the tone. You don't have to necessarily vary the voice level. Like some in contests, we do this, we employ a heavy voice. We say, you know, to show a male voice or to show someone else, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to make it dramatic because this was a serious topic, but you could like show just by the pace of how you're talking. Maybe the boss is talking in a slower fashion and the employee is talking in a slightly faster pace. So that also creates interest, and it creates a storytelling element, and that invites the audience to engage with your content. I would advise you to practice in front of the mirror and think about what emotion you want to transfer with each paragraph, with each part of your speech. Because as I mentioned, that when we transfer emotion, a speech, one of the primary purposes of a speech is to transfer emotion to the audience. That's the way they remember it. And two of the main criteria points for a successful speech are: number one, passion, and number two, interest. So your passion, your energy, and your enthusiasm is actually going to make everybody else excited. So be more enthusiastic, be energetic, and also it creates interest in the audience if it is relevant. But you covered that point wonderfully, that you actually asked the question from the audience on leadership. And so that actually did make it relevant for them. Overall, wonderful speech. You just need to amplify your emotional expression and use the virtual stage, the virtual space you have, and that would improve the efficacy of your delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maher. And that's largely it from both of us, Toastmaster Rabia. Enjoyed your speech, but try to make it a story next time so that everything, the moment it's a story, the vocal variety, everything just comes like second nature. You passed the pathway objectives, and we'll be communicating this to your VPE. But I would urge you to just attempt the speech once again, treating it as a story so that you really excel at this skill set. Just one thing, adding on one thing to what Toastmaster Maher said, probably you could have the HD option selected in your Zoom video so that we see a little more of you, so that your hand gestures and everything, body language is a lot clearer. Right now, you're like a Roman bust. You know, we see your face and your neck. That's it. Yeah, so that another technique for you to do it. Thank you so very much for coming and delivering a speech at WordWise. On that note, let me call upon the next evaluator. That will be Toastmaster Salman. Toastmaster Salman.
Yes, Toastmaster Salman.
There you
Am
are.
I audible?
You
Am
are
I
clearly
audible?
audible. Let me also spot. You are clearly audible. Toastmaster Fazal, if you can turn on your video, I'll add you to the spotlight.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. Ladies and gentlemen, let's together say thank you to Toastmaster Fazal Akbar for sharing his thoughts and insights about understanding my communication style. It was amazing speech. I, as evaluator, found his communication style just like a delicious pizza. Sometimes it was cheesy, sometimes it was saucy, but overall it was interesting. Let me quickly jump into some good moments of his speech and as well as some areas for improvement. To begin with, the message. Not further where your message in the speech was clear, concise, and absolutely relatable. It was like a superhero cat, saving the day one word at a time. I thoroughly enjoyed your speech, its strong message. If you got a strong message in your speech, every audience would be able to understand your speech and would have some takeaways with them at the end of your speech. And everyone had the opportunity to get something out of your communication style. The second good part was your virtual stage presence. Let's talk about your virtual stage presence. You were like navigating the online platform with ease and confidence. Your audio and video quality were top notch. No glitches, no excuses throughout the speech. It was indeed a smooth speech. Every audience got connected throughout your speech because of these amazing stage presence and virtual gestures. Thirdly, you started off your speech with different communication styles. You shared some stories from your real life experiences, and you explained each and every communication style with some strong examples. It was well researched. When you add examples into your speeches, every audience get connected, and it is very easy to remember at least some chunk of your speech when you add messages, examples into your speech. Now, coming to some areas for improvement, the big room in this world is the room for improvement. Let me start with body language and words gestures. So they were amazing through your speech, but word, there is always room for sorry guys, was called from somebody. Sometimes your online body language was like I found it like a frozen avatar. It would have been great if you moved your body back and forth, right and left, and enjoy your speech with open palms. Since it was virtual stage, so it's kind of difficult to do it as compared to the real stage. And the second thing which I would like to mention here as recommendation, you couldn't explain or unveil your communication style, even though you posed the same question many times. But it would have been great if you unveil your communication style to everyone that Fazil Akbar has got this communication style with conviction and confidence. And one more thing about your virtual gestures. Though you were delivering your speech while in a standing position, I couldn't find the alignment between your face and the camera. It was something like the adjustment was missing. You were standing looking at downward to the audience as if you were looking at everyone from overall, ladies and gentlemen, I loved his speech. Fazil Akbar is a rock star. Please work on your virtual gestures in future, and you will be an amazing communicator, an amazing speaker in future. Back to you, Professor Sarah.
Toastmaster Cyril, you're muted, sorry.
I was just telling how difficult it is to multitask, and you guys probably caught the action and you saw the reaction to it. That's largely it from the evaluators. Thank you so very much. Coming back to my comments as general evaluator, number one, timing the meeting. We're already 15 minutes late. I'm going to roll this. Let's try to start the meetings at 12 p.m. so that we do not lose in terms of time. You know, when we don't have role players coming on time, the meeting extends. One thing that I noticed was the Toastmasters mission was not read neither by the SAR nor by the presiding officer. That's usually a miss out. Let's ensure that we do read it because it's part of the Toastmaster decorum. A note to the grammarian, try to keep a lighter word so that it's easy for everyone to use the word, and encourage people from time to time to use the word. Remind them in the chat that this is the word of the day, and please encourage them to use the word. Toastmaster of the Day did a brilliant job in keeping the energy going, and given that this is your first time doing it, just a few observations. Try to read the room better. The agenda is one thing, and then things change. Therefore, know that some people in the agenda are not there in the meeting, and reach out to the VP immediately. Right. Another thing that there was a request for the name of a poet. Ensure that you're paying attention to what's going on in the audience. You're the master of the ceremony, so ensure that you are the master of the ceremonies. And that's largely it. It was a well-conducted meeting. And now let me reach out to Toastmaster Meher to call out the winners of today. Given that there were little people, we had a small panel formed, and we've kind of chosen some people. I'll leave it to Toastmaster Meher to announce.
Well, to be fair, all right, since you asked me for my report as timer earlier, actually, for all the remaining participants, I did time them properly. It was only for Toastmaster Rabia that I forgot to show the green card at the right time. That's why I let it go when the seconds went over a little bit. So I would say that she did qualify. However, Toastmaster Fazil was shown the cards at the right time, and he went over time. So by that token, Toastmaster Fazil has been disqualified. So by that token, Toastmaster Rabia is the best speaker of the day. I would disqualify myself as the evaluator. So Toastmaster Salman is our evaluator of the day. And for the best extempore writer, Toastmaster Fatima did a brilliant job, but her piece was under 3 minutes. So between Gul and Noor, such a difficult such a difficult, my goodness. But I would have to say that according to the panel, Toastmaster Noor will be declared the best extempore writer of the day, but Toastmaster Gulazara and Toastmaster Fatima will receive special appreciation certificates. So thank you so much, everyone, for participating, especially to our guests, Toastmaster Rabia, Toastmaster Fazal, Toastmaster Salman, Toastmaster Fazal, if you have any, if you would like to, if you have any, what should I say, rebut this decision, I'm very much open to.
No, thank you so
Um,
much. I am okay with that. It's okay.
okay.
Overall, it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You made it in time. It's just that when you asked that question at the end, everybody took such a big pause. But I was saying, please answer the question because he's losing time. And so that's where, 15
It's
seconds.
actually a lesson for me for time management for the next time.
Yeah. We shouldn't leave our time management to the audience, right? And that was also why I suggested.
I've listened to the instructions given by Cyril Paul
Okay.
for the time management, and we will carefully follow.
Great. And he gave the same option to exactly what he was telling Toastmaster Rabia. I also felt the same over there that the audience was being, put, and I was
Yeah.
like, the time is going, please move on. So yeah, you have to cut it off after a while. Back to you, Toastmaster Cyril.
Thank you. That's largely it in terms of the meeting. On that note, given that we're out of time, or rather over time, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you so very much for joining us, and have a wonderful weekend ahead. I'd rather not keep you guys here any more than necessary. Thank you once again. It was a delight listening to all of you speak. And Toastmaster Fazal, you could have just taken a leaf out of Toastmaster Rabia's speech and negotiated with Toastmaster Meher.
More in a dictatorial style, like.
I know, yes, yeah. You're using the wrong word. It's competitive style.
I just learned yesterday that dictators were actually not as bad as we make them now. Romans introduced their first dictator when they actually needed somebody to take quick charge of their army during a campaign. It was just a position or command. It wasn't exactly a government role. It was purely a military position, like a colonel or a captain or something. So funny that it came all the way to like dictators ruling people.
Yeah, sometimes you need a dictatorial approach, definitely. Like sometimes you need kids to do their homework and
So for example, in this context, military expedition, you have the enemy in front of you, you can't have arguments, I'm telling you, go do it. If it's good, great. If it's wrong, we'll do something else.
yeah.
So time is
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. In emergency
There are a
situations.
series of words from the. I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
No,
There are
please
a
go ahead.
series of words from the Roman times which meant something totally different at that point of time, and which have a completely different connotation. They will probably do a keynote on them. That's
Yeah.
largely it, Toastmaster. For us, good to see you. If you can probably unmute and say a quick 30 seconds, this is that time.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Avinash. And I am delighted to finally take part in the finishing moments of this wonderful meeting, despite the fact that I missed most of the best moments, but yet to see. And I'm very much optimistic and excited to see you again in the next meeting. So a humble apology from my side.
No worries at all. As they say, better late than never. So thank you so much for making it. And the best segment of this meeting was, there were three of them. One was a maiden Toastmaster, yeah, delivering her maiden Toastmaster speech. Second was a wonderful evaluation segment. I think we'll put this up on the group as an evaluation, educational session by itself. I think that was brilliant on table topics. And of course, the signature extempore writing segment, which was always raised to new brilliance. Thank you so very much once again, and wish you all a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend ahead. Take care. God bless.
Goodbye.